SEC Network. The men starting at 9:08, the women at 9:53. That, too, is on Friday morning. So you've got tennis, you've got cross-country and track, and then you've also got volleyball at Ole Miss on Friday night as well. On Saturday the 1st, it's the women's tennis team again with the Roberta Allison Classic, and then soccer on Sunday in the SEC, or actually on Monday, November the 2nd. The Tide women will be participating in the SEC soccer tournament against South Carolina. Why did I make that such a stretch there? South Carolina is the opponent in the first round of the SEC women's soccer tournament taking place down at the beach. The vice president and general manager of the Crimson Tide Sports Network is Jim Carabin. Our producer-engineer tonight has been Todd Robbins, filling in most graciously for Tom Stipe, who will be back with us next week. Also, our studio engineer has been Ethan Sargent. For all of us at the Crimson Tide Sports Network, I'm Chris Stewart. Thanks for joining us. Roll Tide, and good night from Baumhauer's Victory Grill.
Baumhauer's Victory Grill in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Hey Coach and the Kalen DeBoer Show has been brought to you by Alpha Insurance. Auto, home, life, business. Alpha Insurance covers it all. AlphaInsurance.com. Also brought to you by Ford, proud partner of the Crimson Tide. Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Make Baumhauer's Victory Grill your big game headquarters all season long. Toyota. Visit your local Toyota dealer today. Toyota. Let's go places. And by Bud Light. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation of the Crimson Tide Sports Network.
Tom Abraham here for my friend Mike Owen at Owen Home Appliance Center. Are those new school clothes wearing out that old washer and dryer? Well, it's time to get off the bus at Owen Home Appliance Center and learn what a new Speed Queen washer can do for you. They're in stock and are ready for delivery now. At Owen Home Appliance Center, quality products, quality pricing, quality service. It's right there in the name, Owen Home Appliance Center. 2 locations to serve you, Highway 36 in Somerville and the interactive location at Highway 231 in Lacey Springs, just 8 miles south of the river.
Where's the best place to enjoy wings and sports with the family? Jefferson's on Winchester Road. At Jefferson's, we love Friday night football, college game day on Saturdays, and on Sunday, we have the NFL ticket. And teachers, bring your teacher ID, and you eat free on the first Tuesday of every month during the school year. Jefferson's, the best place for sports, the best place for wings. In Newmarket on Winchester Road. Go Bucks!
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama.
Alabama!
Your home of the Crimson Tide Sports Network.
Welcome, Army sports fans, from sea to shining sea. This is Bill Crawdad Crawford, and guess what? It's time to talk Army Black Knight football, and tonight I'm joined again, back from a little break, with Steve Cripey, the human Ouija board. Steve, hola.
Looking forward to jumping back in the saddle and talking Army football.
And also we have Barrett Crawford, the dirt pig from Sprint Football Land.
It is Air Force Hate Week this week.
Air Force Hate Week. Well, it is indeed Air Force Hate Week, but one thing we don't hate is we've got a great guest who's standing by right now, and that's Coach Conor Hughes. Coach, how are you doing?
I'm excellent. I'm fired up to be back on. I feel like this is a yearly tradition at this point.
There you go.
Well, hey, we've been doing it for 15 years, and you've been with us, I think, once a year for your 10 years. So we thank you for your time tonight. And we'll go ahead and jump right in it. I have a question just in general, speaking of your tenure. You know, it
Sure.
seems to me like the level of strength and conditioning of the team is just at an all-time high. And can you tell us a little bit about how that has evolved in your time and how that's how it stands right now?
Well, it really comes down to me having a great staff around me who really makes me look really good. I got a bunch of guys on my staff, and I've been lucky enough in the past 9 years here to push on some young assistants. I got 4 guys that are head FBS strength coaches now, and a bunch of guys who are Power 5 first and second assistants. But the staff I have around me right now, Coach Mack, Coach KD, Coach Morris, and Coach Anderson are phenomenal, and they really do a great job of developing our guys. And the way that our players work in the weight room is unlike any other place in the country. I mean, we got the toughest kids in America who want to go in there and do things right and work their tails off every single day. And that really just, it makes it special. And it's been hard work that's gotten our guys to this point. And they come in there every day and work their tails off, and it shows, and it's helped us win some football games over the years. So
work their what off? I thought I heard another little word.
I know. I'm trying to be good here.
All right, go ahead, Steve.
It almost slipped out.
That's okay. Well, I would think, you've got just a huge body of knowledge and experience to draw upon. And I'm sure there's some tailoring of that given some of the unique things that Army does both offensively and defensively. And I would think, especially as the Army quarterbacks, what are some things that you do differently just due to the style of offense that we run that's different for the quarterbacks than, say, if we went down the road to UAB or Alabama or one of those other schools that are more pro style, pass first, and those kind of approaches?
We got to train our quarterbacks like running backs, because that's really what they are. I mean, they're running backs who can throw the ball. I mean, they're going to take a beating because they're going to run the ball. I mean, I think Cale Helms ran the ball. I think it was 43 times against Kansas State.
Yeah.
Those guys need to be strong. They need to be durable. They need to be fast. So it's squatting, cleaning, benching. It's the exact same things that our B-backs are doing, and which is our fullback position, our running back position. It truly is. They are running backs who can throw. You look at some of these, like you said, the pro style offenses. Those guys aren't doing any of that stuff. They're not benching. They're not squatting with a bar in their back. They're not cleaning the QBs because they don't want to get them hurt. If I don't prepare our guys by doing the hardest things in the weight room that we possibly can to get them bigger and stronger, they won't be prepared. They'll get hurt in the game because they have to be able to withstand a beating and keep coming. And we have tough quarterbacks, tough, hardworking guys we have throughout the year. So we just got to keep training them hard, and they keep showing up, and we're recruiting the right guys in that area who want to be trained like that.
Well, we love the recruits they get. Well, hey, Coach, during the season, it's a lot different from the off-season strength and conditioning program. But what is it like during the season? The style, like you have to balance practice with academics, with road games, and looking at this week going to Air Force, where the climate and the altitude's a little factor. What does a typical season strength program look like in season?
Sure. Let me touch on the altitude first, because if we were going to go out and run a marathon or run a 5K, it would absolutely affect our guys to the utmost effect. Now, football is an anaerobic game. I mean, there will be some oxygen debt in there, but it really it's more of a mental thing for our guys to realize that it's not going to affect them to the extreme of what an aerobic sport would do. So we've been talking about that with those guys all week, and we give our guys beet juice leading up to the game to increase their blood oxygen levels and increase their vasodilation to get some the nutrients for the working muscles. But truthfully, like in season, it's about trying to not maintain. It's about trying to continue to get stronger by lessening what I call the volume in the weight room. So say our offensive line and our defensive line in the off season will come in and do 10 sets of 3 in the squat at above 83%. That's a massive squat day. They're going to get stronger. They're going to get sore. They're going to get beat up from that, but their muscles are going to replenish and grow. In the in season, it's about pulling back that volume. So instead of doing 10 sets of 3, we'll do 3 sets of 2, 4 sets of 1, with similar percentages. So in between 80 and 90% of their max. And we really flip flop weeks. We do what I'll call a max effort week. So it's a more strength based, a little bit slower, moving our squats or benches. And then on next week or 2 weeks later, we'll come and do a dynamic effort. So it's more of training for speed. So we'll take some weight off the bar, add some chains, and instead of moving 500 pounds for one rep at a moderate pace. So we're going to do 405 pounds with the chains, and they're going to move it as fast as they possibly can. So it's flip-flopping those two variables to kind of continue to get stronger in season. So when we play that Navy game at the end, we'll be ready. When we play that Air Force game on October, I think it's November 1st.
Yep.
We'll be ready. So that's it.
Hey, Coach, I have a question for you. The owner of our station has a son who's a strength and conditioning coach on an SEC team. And I was talking to him the other day, and he said something that I have never heard before. And he said this. He said the strength and conditioning program establishes the culture of the team. And that was kind of blew me away to hear him say that. But what would your thoughts be on that? Is that where the culture of the team begins, is in the weight training program and the physical conditioning program?
I would say at the majority of the schools that aren't Army and not Army football, I would absolutely say that is correct. Here, I mean, the culture of our team is Army football is its own living, breathing organism on its own. Between Coach Monken, the senior leadership, the tradition of this place, like the culture of toughness, the culture of hard work, the culture just keep coming no matter what's going on, no matter what the obstacle is. That was here long before myself or any strength coaches that started training this team have been here, and it'll be here after and I've said publicly that I want to retire at Army, but truthfully, like it will be here way long after I'm gone. So I think the culture of Army football is Coach Monken, our senior leaders, and all the tradition and all the Mike V's, the Luke Prues, the guys who have come before, our players now, it's been set for years. So at a normal place, yes, I would say so. At Army football, I think I'm just a small cog in the wheel.
Wow. Yeah, you talked a little bit about the weekly rhythm in season. Talk a little bit about the off-season program and some of those unique challenges that you face at being the strength and conditioning guy at a military academy, as opposed to what your counterpart at, say, Ohio State faces in the off season. Sure.
And in season, we're going to, and I didn't even cover this, we're going to lift with our travel squad 3 times a week. In our developmental squad, so our non-travel guys will lift 4 times a week. In the off season, it's going to split. We're going to do our skill and combo guys are going to lift 4 times a week, and they're going to run 3 times a week. That's in the winter. Our linemen are going to lift 5 times a week, and they're going to run twice a week in the winter. In the summer, line will do 5 times a week lift, 4 times a week run, and skill will do 4 times a week run, 3 times a week lift. But truthfully, like the biggest kind of issue we deal with here is just the lack of sleep, because we do phenomenal things with no. Truthfully it is because we do phenomenal things with our nutrition at this point. That the mess hall food has gotten, in my 10 years here, has gotten incredibly better, and we do some really special things, like I said, with recovery, with nutrition. It's these guys are getting pulled. It's a as you know, it's a very rigorous academic institution, and they're training their tails off playing Division I college football, where the guy at Ohio State might be taking 2 or 3 online classes, and he's spending 8 hours a day up in the football facility. Here, I mean, our guys are here from in the off season from 3 p.m. till 6 p.m. getting their workouts in, and then they got to go back down, and they got to get ready for class the next day and do all their schoolwork. Same thing in season. Our guys get in the building about 2:30. I mean, it's 8:45 at night right now. Our guys are still probably in the building. So and then they still have to go down, and they still have to do well in the classes, do their homework. So it's just a lack of sleep, because you know that morning formation is coming in the morning, and our guys aren't staying up late and playing video games. They're staying up late to get their schoolwork done, and if they can hammer those 6 hours, we're pretty happy with them.
Hey, Coach, I used to have a saying up there when I was a cadet, and I think it still holds true. And my saying was this: the currency of West Point is sleep.
Absolutely. There is zero doubt about that.
Okay, go ahead, Barrett.
Yeah, Coach, looking at Army's facility over there, the Kimsey Center is, state of the art. And, with the new renovations to Mikey Stadium going on, the Kimsey Center, fully athletic, how big is Kimsey Center, and how does it compare to the other D1 schools, within the country?
It's phenomenal, and I've always wanted, because ESPN and Sports Illustrated, they rank everything now. I've always wanted them to come out and rank college football weight rooms, because we have to be in the top 20. I mean, the Kimsey Center is, and our the O'Mara Malik Dawkins Center specifically. I mean, it's 20,000 square feet. We have 28 power racks in there. We have 65 yards of turf space on one side, another 40 yards of turf space on the other side. And we have machines or iPads and a perch unit on every single rack, where our guys can see how fast they're benching, see how fast they're squatting. It can track every piece of data that we could ever possibly need. And every single rack that our guys have is fully capable of doing everything that they need to do at that one rack. So they can squat, they can bench. Each rack has its own set of dumbbells. I mean, it's got its own air compressed accessory machine called the Kaiser. It really is, it's state of the art, and it allows us to be able to do our job with. I mean, at some points we have 130 guys in there all trained at the same time, and that's would be difficult to manage at most college football weight rooms, because you just don't have the space. There we have the space, we have the facility. It's really unique, and it helps us develop these guys to the best of our ability.
Well, Coach, I can tell you this, as we used to say when I was a cadet, back when Moby Dick was a minnow, which was when I was there, the football team did most of their weight training in the same weight room in Arvin Gym that all the cadets did. They just, we couldn't go in there when they were in there, but I'm glad to
that was
see
way back in the day.
That was way back in the days.
Oh, yeah. And if I could dovetail on that, yeah, talking to the coaches at that time, the strength and training facilities were a liability when it came to recruiting, whereas what you have now is really an asset to bring those young high school recruits in there and wow them with what they'd have access to.
And it truly is. It's phenomenal. And then one of the first things that when we have an official visit weekend in January, is one of the first things that the recruits come in and see is they see our guys working out. And it's the facility, absolutely, but it's the electricity and the feeling and just the excitement of when our guys are in there and when they're in the weight room, because it's different than any other place in the country. You can feel it, and if you're a weight room guy, you'll instantly fall in love. I've had multiple players come up to me after they got here and they said, I decided that I was coming to Army watching that workout, just watching how hard the guys trained, how much they loved it. That was the deciding factor for me. So it truly is. It's amazing.
Hey, Coach, one question I have, as a longtime observer of Army football, it seems like in recent years that soft tissue injuries at Army have gone down. And I was wondering, that's just my perception, whether it's right or wrong, but is there anything you can do in the physical training weight room realm of things to help prevent like ligament tears, soft tissue injuries, hamstring pulls, things of that nature?
Absolutely. And the guy the strength coach who solves, just can prevent hamstring pulls and ACL injuries, he will be the richest man on the absolute planet, because everybody's trying to do it. And we've reduced the likelihood of soft tissue injury by a number of factors. Number one is going to be train our guys appropriately. So training them for the position that they play, for the yardage that they're going to need to get ready for practice. It's getting our guys strong, doing the right fundamentals in the weight room. We've increased. We've really invested in this new type of stretching, and I'll put it's like strength training yoga. It's called functional range conditioning, and two of my guys are actually on staff are actually certified in it. And it's pretty much strength training in end ranges of motion, and we do that about an hour a week in the off season, split up into 5 and 30-minute increments. And we do it we do it every day before lift. We do it every day at the end of practice. But it's also management of load. And the science portion of what strength conditioning has become, it lets us really make smart decisions when we're planning practices, when we're planning workouts. So our guys, they all have GPS units that they wear in almost like little sports bras all summer long, all winter long. When we're outside running, it tells us how many times they cut off the right leg, the left leg, how much max velocity, what their max velocity is in that certain training session, what their total volume of the training session was, how far they ran. It really is, it's tremendous. So we can get our guys ramped up for by the first day of camp. We know exactly how many yards our guys need to be able to maintain to not get hurt throughout camp, throughout practices. But then it's really, it allows us to make changes to each guy's individual practice throughout the week. If I know this wide receiver got 150 yards over his 80% of his max velocity, we know we need to pull him back the next day. Or we see a guy, his load was up, all of a sudden his max velocity drops down. We know that he's getting ready to pull a hamstring or hurt his hip flex or something like that. We'll pull him back. So it's really let us make smarter decisions, and it's truthfully been a godsend to have that kind of technology.
You said some things there that I'd love to pull on the string a little bit there. I would think one of the challenges you face of many is, on one hand, you are responsible for a strength and conditioning program 365 days a year. You're in the execution mode. At the same time, you mentioned several sort of emerging, whether it be on the strength and conditioning side or nutrition or whatever. I mean, that's a moving target. There's constantly, studies going on, and, new techniques, new approaches. How do you balance that, keeping your, in the execution mode, while at the same time keeping your finger on the pulse of some of those emerging approaches?
So I take a view of it as the head strength coach, that I need to bring in great assistant strength coaches around me who have a skill set that I do not have. If you need somebody to teach a squat, teach a bench, teach a deadlift, I'm up there, and this is going to sound cocky, but I can teach those things. I'm pretty legit at those things. If you need someone to be able to break down the technology of how our speed systems in our racks actually work and explain it to you, I'm not the guy. It's the same thing with the GPS units that our guys wear during practice. That report gets right to one of my assistants after practice, and then he breaks it all down, puts it in an Excel file that I can understand, and then that I can go explain to Coach Monken. Like I said, the functional range conditioning, our mobility expert will handle that. Our skill, speed, and conditioning work throughout the summer, throughout the winter. I mean, Anthony MacArthur, my associate strength coach, he does all of that. He trains our skill guys year round. And he shows me the workouts before, and I have a couple questions, because some of these things are brand new to me. So just show me, walk me through it. But it's truly, for me, it's having great people around me who have skills in areas that I don't have, that make me look good. And that really is, I'm standing on the shoulders of giants with all these assistant coaches.
Well, Coach, hey, we really appreciate your time, and I'll let you go with a little humor. I am a fitness instructor at the YMCA on a part-time basis, and I love it. After listening to you talk, I feel like lower than a plebe. I think I'm going to have to go back to the drawing board. But hey, we really appreciate your time tonight. You're always a great interview, and it's fascinating to know that what we see out on the field doesn't just happen. It happens because of great leaders like you. So thank you much for your time, and we'll go ahead and let you go. And good luck this week against the Zoomies.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you so much.
Air Force.
I appreciate you. Thank you. Beat Air Force, beat Navy.
There you go. All right.
Bye.
Folks, that was Coach Conor Hughes. And Brody, if you want to go ahead and get us out of here. I thought that was a fascinating interview.
Makes you want to work out now.
Always, ready to hit the weight room here.
It makes me want to quit my job. Hey, we'll come back and we'll dissect that a little more. Crawdad back in a few.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com.
Tom Abraham here for my friends at North Alabama Mortgage. Are you thinking about home improvements? Well, use your equity now and refi later. Or use your equity to eliminate consumer debt forever, then refi to a lower rate and shorter term when rates drop. North Alabama Mortgage can also help you if you're thinking about buying an investment property or a second home at the lake or the beach or in the mountains. We have great programs to make that happen. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
This is Bill Crawford with Crawdads Countdown to Kickoff. I've recently had a stem cell procedure on my right knee from Dr. Charles Lee of Regenesis. Stem cells are harvested from your body and re-administered back into your body. This approach is painless, quick, and requires no lengthy rehab. My knee feels better already. Regenesis is located at 4025 Pepperwood Circle Southwest, Suite C, Huntsville, Alabama. Call 256-715-8193 or Google their website for more information.
Firehawk Aerospace is a non-traditional defense contractor advancing the state of propulsion to strengthen the U.S. Defense Initiative. Founded in 2019, Firehawk Aerospace established early leadership in manufactured propulsion with the development of 3D printed hybrid rocket fuel grains. Visit firehawkaerospace.com to learn more. That's firehawkaerospace.com.
Don't you wish that you had some secrets to help you get an edge on your business competition? Wouldn't it be great if someone could solve challenges at your company that you don't have the time or expertise to fix on your own? You know, there is a solution. Higher Echelon is a world-class consulting firm based in Huntsville that trains employees in sports psychology secrets to drastically improve work performance. Founder Dr. Joe Ross is retired Army who played and later coached for the cadets and has put that experience to good use. Higher Echelon helps organizations shave hundreds of hours off work time by improving processes, and Higher Echelon helps organizations save and make more money by walking them through technology updates and implementations. You don't have to go it alone, and you don't have to stay stuck. Higher Echelon is a trusted partner in organizational excellence. Go to higherechelon.com. That's HIGHERECHELON.com today to take your company to the next level. Go higher and go Army.
John Abraham here for the parts department at Bobcat of Huntsville. Not only do these guys carry genuine OEM Bobcat parts, they also have a full line of Marshalltown concrete supplies. On top of that, they have a wide selection of arborist tools and supplies on hand for you tree guys. Bobcat of Huntsville also has a full service department, and don't forget the sales and rental guys too. Come on down and visit the all-new Bobcat of Huntsville location in Madison on Highway 20 next to the Redstone Harley-Davidson.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Talking Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Weekday mornings beginning at 7 a.m. only on 97.7 ESPN and the 97.7 ESPN The Zone app.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Bill Crawdad Crawford, and we were just reflecting a bit on that great interview we had with Coach Hughes. But before we
talking about beet juice,
But one thing I did want to mention, speaking of being in shape, is talk a little bit about my stem cell replacement in my knee, which was done by Regenesis. A couple of things about that. There is no rehab. It's easy. It's painless. It takes about 6 weeks for it to take effect. But I can tell you, folks, give Regenesis a shout if you have some kind of joint problem, because you might be glad you did. And my knee feels 100% better. So let's chat a little bit, dissect some of what Coach Hughes had to say.
Oh, man. Talk about getting charged up. But I tell you what, our young men are in good hands. Again, that last question I asked him, just that's a challenge, because nutrition, strength and conditioning, that's a constantly evolving discipline. And for him to be in, again, that execution mode while keeping his finger on the pulse of all these emerging kind of things to make, and then the decision making. What do you integrate? What don't you?
All of his assistants.
And that's just remarkable. And the fact that he and his staff understand things not just from a technique or a process kind of thing, they understand it from the science.
Yeah, the data behind it is really fascinating.
Well, I think it's fascinating that they're wearing this little sports bra, which it's telling how much they're doing and what they need to do. But in my case, it would probably be telling who was a lollygagging. Hey, Crawford, what the hell are you doing? You better get on the stick or we're going to cut you from this team. But,
yeah. So that, especially you being an ORSA, Barrett.
Oh, that data would fascinate me.
That you get that download of the data and you see, heart rates, exertion, oxygen levels, all those kind of things that guy had a good workout.
Mm-hmm.
He was in the zone we wanted him in, or if not, what do we need to do to change things?
Yeah, it can also help improve like their flexibility, their mobility. He mentioned like the data capturing they have when it shows how fast they get the bench up. Like, oh wow, yeah, you weren't fast enough getting that 400-pound bench press. Well, yeah, there's a reason. But I thought it was cool. One interesting thing he said was, and I thought, what's a challenge for West Point cadets in strength and conditioning? It's being out in the field in the summer. No, it's the sleep. And I just didn't even, but yeah, you get a West Point cadet and you get them 10 minutes in a chair with just,
they'll go to sleep.
They'll go to sleep in a heartbeat. So the sleep deprivation is real at West Point.
And the sleep thing, I don't know about you guys, but has carried over into my life. I can be immobile for 3 minutes.
No, I can sleep in any situation.
Well, my technique, and it's even in my write-up in the howitzers and stuff like that, I'd go to lectures, and when we were in dress gray,
oh, the stiff neck,
and you can sort of just work your head down like that with that starch collar, and I could keep my head perfectly erect and take a nap.
Well, my quick sleep story was I was in chemistry class. Cadet Phil Luker, who was about as sharp as a mole, he kept falling asleep, and our instructor threw a piece of blue chalk at him. It went right in his mouth. He almost choked to death. So he made him go stand by the window, and he fell asleep and fell out the window that was open. He just happened to land on the balcony. And so on that, I was there. I saw it. So
living right. But yeah, I love what you said, sleep was the currency, and that's, athlete or not, but there are some additional demands and challenges that athletes have. And I take my hat off. I've got several close friends, classmates that played football, and I just stand in awe of that they were able to juggle those kind of demands, those long hours, still get the time in to, hit the books, but yeah. And squeeze in a little sleep there when you can.
Well, hopefully we'll all get a good night's sleep tonight, but we'll be back in a few minutes. It's time to talk about that game against the Zoomies, the first leg of the Commander-in-Chief's Trophy, where we can achieve a tangible goal. We'll explain that later. Crawdad, back in a few.
If you work in a dangerous or logistically intense industry, you know good training can be a challenge. There are training costs, safety concerns, and difficulty replicating real-world scenarios. There's a better way used right now in the Army and in all our armed services to better prepare our heroes, and it's available to you in your organizations. Higher Echelon's Game Development Team is revolutionizing learning in military training, dangerous industry, STEM, and sports performance domains with cutting-edge virtual training that immerses you in lifelike scenarios without the cost and safety concerns for trainees. With Higher Echelon's game-based training, you'll experience realistic simulations, precision accuracy, and unparalleled safety. Higher Echelon founder Dr. Joe Ross is retired Army who played and later coached for the cadets and puts that experience to use. His team has been building cutting-edge virtual training environments for soldiers and clients for a decade. Higher Echelon, the name you can trust for advanced training solutions. Reach out at higherechelon.com to get your free consultation. Go Higher and go Army.
Tom Abraham here for my friends at North Alabama Mortgage. Did you know that average home equity is at an all-time high? But so is average consumer debt. Even though rates are higher now, you can use your equity to pay off your high consumer debt, student loans, etc., then refi when the rates drop. Don't put off that new home purchase. When rates drop, prices will go up. Buy now and get the best price and then refi when the rates drop. This is the time to talk to the experts at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com for more information.
This is Bill Crawford with Crawdads Countdown to Kickoff. I've recently had a stem cell procedure on my right knee from Dr. Charles Lee of Regenesis. Stem cells are harvested from your body and re-administered back into your body. This approach is painless, quick, and requires no lengthy rehab. My knee feels better already. Regenesis is located at 4025 Pepperwood Circle Southwest, Suite C, Huntsville, Alabama. Call 256-715-8193 or Google their website for more information.
Firehawk Aerospace is a non-traditional defense contractor advancing the state of propulsion to strengthen the U.S. defense initiative. Founded in 2019, Firehawk Aerospace established early leadership in manufactured propulsion with the development of 3D printed hybrid rocket fuel grains. Visit firehawkaerospace.com to learn more. That's firehawkaerospace.com.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money. Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or email annadamsrise@gmail.com.
This is your home for Madison Academy football.
Owens in some trouble. Eludes him in. Flings it to the far flank. It is caught. Right. It is caught by Kreider.
This is your home for the Mustang Zone. Only on 97.7 ESPN.com and the 97.7 ESPN The Zone app.
Welcome back, everybody, for the second half hour of Crawdads Countdown to Kickoff. I know you can't be here with us in the studio, but we were all having some good laughs about our sleeping escapades at West Point.
Or lack thereof.
Always a good sleep story at West Point.
There's always a good sleep story.
Yeah. It is. I'll never forget my then fiance, I had pulled an all-nighter.
I hope she's your now wife.
She is indeed. We're about to celebrate 41 years next week.
Oh, congrats.
And I told her I pulled an all-nighter and then I had to go to classes and stuff like that. And she said, well, why didn't you stay in your room and take a nap? Not an option.
I can't do that.
Not an option. Well, so, hey, before we get into a little dissection of the Air Force game, I want to remind everybody about Nick's Ristorante, which, as I say always, is a driver and a pitching wedge south of the intersection of Bailey Cove and Weatherly. I mention that now because even though it's still October, you better start making your holiday plans if you want to get a seat down there or have a big party to book over Christmas. 256-489-8280. Speak to Tom or Laurie, and they will take care of you. So this week we have the first leg of the Commander-in-Chief's Trophy, and I do have to mention this about Air Force cadets. I had a friend of mine from my hometown who went to the Air Force Academy, and I said, what do they call plebes at the Air Force Academy? And he said, we call them maggots. And I said, why is that? And he said, well, it's the lowest form of life that has a chance to fly. So we're playing those guys this weekend. Yeah. And Steve, what does the green sheet look like?
The green sheet, it is interesting. I mean, it goes without saying, we're seeing two of the top rushing offenses in the country. Air Force is number 2, and we are number 4 in rushing offense. But the real distinction that Air Force has, they have a passing attack. Yeah. And right now, if you look at their total yardage right now, they're 60% run and 40%, and it's almost exactly 60-40. They have a very effective passing attack. And not only do they put up yardage when it comes to passing, they are very efficient. They're number 3 in the country in passing efficiency. So again, they're not a West Coast air it out every play kind of team, but when they do pass it, they do it very well. So very formidable offense. But the flip side of that, it's sort of the best of the times and worst of times. Really good offense and one of the worst defenses in the FBS. And to put that in perspective, they are in the bottom 25% in total defense, rushing defense, passing yards allowed, team passing efficiency defense, and scoring defense. They are in the bottom 25% in each of those statistics. So, the couple games that they've won, they just happen to outscore their opponents, but they give up a whole lot. They give up over 30 points a game. Matter of fact, 37 points a game.
Yeah. One thing about the old Air Force Academy, either one of you guys ever been out there, by the way?
Yes.
Yeah, I've been out there. Is that we haven't played them at Falcon Stadium in quite some time.
Yeah, since 2019.
Yeah,
and
it's been renovated since then.
It's been renovated. That whole academy needs renovated, but that's a horse of a different color. But at home in this series, they lead us 22-4. So there's a distinct home field advantage, I think. And Steve, I think you're right. And one of the things that concerns me about the Air Force Academy is they have one of those quarterbacks, Liam Zarka. That sounds like somebody off Star Wars. Look, it is Liam Zarka. He is coming.
He's a Cleon. Yeah.
He's a Cleon. But old Liam Zarka can pass and run. And those kind of guys, just like Jake Ratzlaff did for Tulane, they give us fits.
Yeah. He's already got 1,000 yards passing, and he's on pace to get 1,000 yards rushing. So very, very effective. And when he tucks the ball and runs, he's had a 64-yard run. He's got 9 rushing touchdowns to add to his 8 passing touchdowns, and he averages almost 6 yards a clip when he tucks that ball and runs.
Yeah, I think you're kind of looking at Air Force's not like the duplicate of the Army offense, but they run a similar style offense. But that quarterback, that dual threat, I think Army can shut him down. We did pretty well against Tulane with their dual threat quarterback, but this one's the real deal. And it's like you said, Steve, it's that 60-40 split of run and pass, and they do a good job at passing and they do a good job at running. But I think Army's defense is well equipped to stay up for that challenge for the bend don't break. My big stat that I got here is that Air Force is one of the lowest in red zone defense, and 92% of the time they allow other teams to score when they're in the red zone. So that's kind of said something right there.
And they're 133 out of 136 on third down conversion defense.
Yeah.
So they give up a whole lot. So again, defense, and I think as we look at the game, we're going to have to put points on the board every single possession, and the other thing, what's going to give here, you got 2 teams that are in the top 10 in time of possession. Something's got to give.
Yeah.
We can't, and fortunately, we've finally pulled even on turnover margin. We had dug a big hole early on in the season. We're right at 0. We're even, but they're slightly on the negative side. So if we can dominate the time of possession, if we can end up on the plus side, just 1 turnover. And that is one thing about Sarge. He's thrown 3 interceptions. He's gotten sacked 7 times. So he's not, Superman.
Yeah.
He's not invincible.
Well, one thing about Air Force is, I don't know, it's just a perception, but it always seems to me like it looks like they don't have any weight standards like we do at Army. They don't seem like they're that.
Or shaving standards.
Or shaving. You look at them, they got guts hanging out of their uniform. They got beards. They got long hair. So I guess
the chair force,
typical chair force. But I think the key to this game, in my humble opinion, is going to be keeping us in a good position to not get behind the sticks. On our first down plays, we got to get 4 yards or more. We've got to set it up so we can do what Coach Monken says, is use 4 downs to get 10 yards instead of 3 downs.
Yeah. Well,
and if we do that, we can keep the the Darth Vader man off the field.
No, I think every possession we got to score, whether it's a field goal or a touchdown. But the chess game that Coach Monken plays with that time of possession has now been flipped, where Air Force has that time of possession in their back pocket. So I think for our defense, it's forcing those 3 and outs from Air Force and not letting them control the clock, but allowing us to control the entire time on there. So it's going to be a fun. But now here's the other caveat to all of this: it's an academy game.
That's right.
So it's going to be close. It's going to be high stakes. Tensions are going to be high because that's how academy football is.
Yeah. And I think the other thing is, it's sort of the mental aspects of the game, and you raise, it's an inter-service academy game that definitely induces, a mental, emotional aspect to it. But the other thing, I think here's a defense. There's not a stat here that I could mention to any of them that they're unaware of.
Yeah.
They know that they're not doing well. We cannot allow them to gain a glimmer of hope. We can't have a 3 and out where they can say, well, hey, yeah, we've had a tough year, but maybe we can take Army. We don't want to give them any elements of confidence. So again, we just need to grind it out. I think Helms, I've been really enjoyed watching his maturation as a quarterback.
Bryson Daly, 201.
Yeah, exactly. And we're seeing confidence, throwing the ball, decision making, executing the offense. And I think, don't go for the home run, swing. Just grind it out. Execute Army football.
Yeah, and I do hope that this game, if it comes down to it, that our kicker will have regained his consciousness and will be able to
or confidence?
Confidence.
Or all of the above?
All of the above. What did I say? It doesn't matter. But, we're out there although it may not matter in an anaerobic game, as our strength coach said, or whatever he said, we are out there in a lighter air and the ball will travel further. Or in the higher altitude. So maybe that'll work in our favor. And he's got a leg. He just has pushed a couple of them.
I think it's, what's going on between the temples. Yeah. He definitely has the ability.
And so looking at Air Force right now, 2-5, and they just came off a win over Wyoming. So they got some momentum coming into this game. We came off kind of a heartbreaker against Tulane. We still, in my mind, got momentum because it shows that Army football is a capable team of beating anybody. But the 2-5 Air Force, the games they lost, it wasn't lopsided victories. Maybe a few of them, but some of them were kind of close games. So they're not a team to just throw away because of their record of 2-5. They have some capabilities to be a great team. But saying that, they're still 2-5. So,
well, you can never throw away a game when it's the first link in the Commander-in-Chief's trophy. And
now they played Navy pretty close. I mean, that was like a field goal away.
I think that surprised
a lot of people. So yeah, I think it's going to be tough. I think that quarterback. I know we always, the dual threat is kind of Army's Achilles heel almost, but I think we're doing okay against the dual threat quarterbacks. You look at Tulane and North Texas quarterback. That was a big deal. That was one of the things we thought was going to be a big deciding factor. We were able to almost shut. It may have been East Carolina's quarterback or one of the quarterbacks where Army's defense held them to like below average numbers on passing. So I think our secondary is very, very capable of stopping the pass. It's just that containing of the quarterback.
And our defense has gotten better with each game.
Yeah.
North Texas quarterback set the all-time college passing record with 608 yards 2 weeks ago, and we held him to 249. How about that?
Yeah.
So, hey, folks, we'll be back in our final segment to dissect this a little more and also talk about the conference. We're in the conference now. Makes it a little more interesting. Crawdad, back in a minute.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com.
Firehawk Aerospace is a non-traditional defense contractor advancing the state of propulsion to strengthen the U.S. Defense Initiative. Founded in 2019, Firehawk Aerospace established early leadership in manufactured propulsion with the development of 3D printed hybrid rocket fuel grains. Visit firehawkaerospace.com to learn more. That's firehawkaerospace.com.
Don't you wish that you had some secrets to help you get an edge on your business competition? Wouldn't it be great if someone could solve challenges at your company that you don't have the time or expertise to fix on your own? You know, there is a solution. Higher Echelon is a world-class consulting firm based in Huntsville that trains employees in sports psychology secrets to drastically improve work performance. Founder Dr. Joe Ross is retired Army who played and later coached for the cadets and has put that experience to good use. Higher Echelon helps organizations shave hundreds of hours off work time by improving processes, and Higher Echelon helps organizations save and make more money by walking them through technology updates and implementations. You don't have to go it alone, and you don't have to stay stuck. Higher Echelon is a trusted partner in organizational excellence. Go to higherechelon.com. That's HIGHERECHELON.com today to take your company to the next level. Go higher and go Army. Tom Abraham here for my friends at North Alabama Mortgage. Are you thinking about home improvements? Well, use your equity now and refi later. Or use your equity to eliminate consumer debt forever, then refi to a lower rate and shorter term when rates drop. North Alabama Mortgage can also help you if you're thinking about buying an investment property or a second home at the lake or the beach or in the mountains. We have great programs to make that happen. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
This is Bill Crawford with Crawdads Countdown to Kickoff. I've recently had a stem cell procedure on my right knee from Dr. Charles Lee of Regenesis. Stem cells are harvested from your body and re-administered back into your body. This approach is painless, quick, and requires no lengthy rehab. My knee feels better already. Regenesis is located at 4025 Pepperwood Circle Southwest, Suite C, Huntsville, Alabama. Call 256-715-8193 or Google their website for more information.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Hey there, everybody. Bob Baumhauer here, letting you know that we understand that times are tough and we truly believe value matters. So, by popular demand, we brought back our Inflation Bites menu featuring scratch-made meals that will make the whole family smile, and your wallet, too. Menu items start at just $7.99, and any entree comes with a free beverage. Try our classic tailgate burger for just $8.99, or our hearty Bam Bam chicken platter for $9.99. Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Legendary fun, legendary food.
The Blitz with Joe Hunk and John Abraham. Weekday morning starting at 9 a.m. on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Welcome back, everybody, to the last segment of Crawdads Countdown to Kickoff with Steve Cripey, the human Ouija board, Barrett, the dirt pig Crawford, Brody, the man behind the glass, and
making all the magic.
Making all the magic. And folks, just one quick reminder, you hear all our sponsors on the commercial, and I mentioned something about some of them. We wouldn't be here without them. So if you could support our sponsors, that would be great. Yep. And so now, Brody, if you can, we're going to get ready to talk about 1, 2, 3. In case you're wondering what that is, that's the jingling of keys. Reminds you of some sort of a Christmas carol or something like that. So let's go over the keys to the game. Steve, what is your key to victory over the Air Force Academy? Did I say farce? I should have. Air Force Academy Falcons.
Our academy. I'll start off. We talked a whole lot about Sarza. We've got to contain him, disrupt. Whether there's some way to disrupt his rhythm when he's passing the ball, and containing him when he runs the ball. If he hits his season averages, we could be in for a long day.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think containing Sarza, making Air Force offense go 3 and out every possession, just not letting them control the time is one of the keys. I think a very underrated key, every pass we throw to Brady Anderson, he catches. That was one of the big ones in Tulane. Is he dropped he was open. It came right in the end zone. And he dropped it. I think that's another key.
Yeah, but he did pretty good.
He redid
recovered. I think the key to the game is two. One is our defense has really been playing good, and Coach Monken mentioned that in his press conference, except for a couple of breakdowns, and those breakdowns turn into big plays, and in Tulane it turned into a loss. Our defense has got to contain, play their position, and not give up the big play. But I really think the key to the game is we are very successful in our fourth down conversions. There's a reason for that. We're getting into fourth down too much. We need to get our first down and 3 downs and not have to always rely on the fourth down.
Yeah, manageable third down situations.
Well, that's pretty good.
Yeah. And I think offensively, we need to be efficient when we have the ball. We've got to consistently move it. Again, we can't let their defense think they've got a glimmer of hope. So we've just got to, just take the wind out of their sails, grind in the ball, turnovers. Okay, we finally pulled even. I'd love to see us in this game on the plus side. I think if we can get one takeaway where they have a possession where they don't put points on the board or they don't hang on to it very long, I think a turnover. Both these teams are very disciplined. I don't think penalties in totality, are going to be a big deal, but penalties at critical times could, I think it's going to be subtle, little, seemingly insignificant things like that. They could be difference makers.
Yeah. And I think also too, it's, I saw it on the roster and I think we talked about it. We saw Hayden Reed's name on there before.
Hey, he's back.
I think that running back duo or the running back core in general with Noah Short, Hayden Reed and all them, Cameron Smith too. He made a big appearance last week. I think giving them the ball, mixed between them and Helms, just running that football down the throat and kind of, not doing a lot of pass attempts, but just sticking to the Army football of, running it.
Well, if we do pass, one thing that I would like to see, and I've been hoping to see this for the past few years, is where instead of when we have to pass, it has to be a long down the middle or sideline pass, some little screens to the backs coming out of the backfield, some little dump off passes, slant passes to the tight end.
I will tell you, I've been beating that drum all season. We've got some very capable tight ends, that were very capable pass catchers coming out of high school. We need to leverage that. And especially, that hadn't been part of the mix. I think that's a great opportunity. I mean, let's not save that for Navy, but I'm with you. Or running backs coming out of the backfield, quick screens, those quick outs, quick slants, and that. One of the things that a stat that I hope is true for this game. So looking at the season stats for Air Force, one thing that's telling is 4 of their top 5 tacklers are defensive backs.
That means the linebackers aren't making the tackles.
Yes, the line's not doing it. Yeah. So opposing teams are getting into the backfield and DBs are having to do that. If that's the case for this game, I really like chances.
And I think we always say it every game, but you look at the depth chart for the offensive line, still the same guys. So I think they're still maturing, and I think they've already matured. And they haven't peaked, but that it's a solid offensive line for Army right now, and I think they're going to start manhandling the Air Force defensive line and making some holes.
Well, if they haven't matured by now, it's a little bit late, but I think our offensive line's playing just fine, and Coach Monken mentioned that in his press conference. But before we go on to another topic, I do want to mention something for our Huntsvillian listeners. The alumni is gathering at a place called the Back 40. The alumni is putting some money down for some food and some food if you want to attend.
Some food and some food.
Some food. Well, they can't pay for that.
That means you got to pay for your own beverages.
You got to pay for your own beverages. So if you're there, you'll see us there. We'll be glad to sign autographs, pose with babies, whatever you need us to do. So,
One of the things we never asked Coach Hughes, the strongest offensive defensive player, but I was reading it, and I always mess up his name, but it's our offensive line, Paolo Gennaro. Gennaro, I can't say his name.
That's easy.
But under Coach Hughes, one of the biggest bench press guys on the team, just putting up astronomical numbers. So, shout out to the offensive line and pushing guys around. It starts right there.
Oh yeah, and I will tell you, I go back to that Tarleton and a game where we were getting beat on the line, on both sides of the ball, and with each game, and it's improved. And even though Tarleton was a loss, I was liking what I was seeing in the trenches, and specifically, I mean that offensive line is finally functioning as a unit.
Yep.
They instinctively know what each other's going to do, what tendencies are, and they've really come together. And I think that's going to be on grand display against Air Force.
Well, just speaking of Tarleton, for everybody who wants to hearken back to that in Crimea River, they're actually number 2 in the FCS.
That's right.
And they're also ranked, I think Steve said, ahead of 63 teams in FBS. That means a little.
So they're doing really well.
Although and like I had a post on our Facebook page and sort of talked about that a little bit, and it takes the sting out just a little bit. It still hurts. Again, there's not an FCS team out there that we shouldn't be able to beat, and so disappointing. But at the same time, kudos to the Texans. They're having a great season, and glad to see it.
Glad to see it. Well, hey, folks, I think we're about to get snuck up on by the clock. So I want to go ahead and get you guys predictions for the Air Force game.
Okay, I think, again, this is going to be a hard-fought game. It's going to come down to probably mistakes, whichever team has the fewest. And again, the time possession, something's got to give, and I think maybe the team that comes out on top on that. But I think it's going to be Army. We're going to go into Colorado Springs and get one of those rare wins where the air is rare, as the Air Force Academy likes to say. And I've got us winning 29-25.
Woo. Barrett, what about you?
So I think Army's going to come out with a win. With an academy game, I think it's going to be tough. I think a lot's going to happen. A lot of tension's going to be there on both sides of the ball. But I think Army's going to pull it off by a touchdown. I think it's going to be 24-17 Army.
Well, it's interesting. I've in this day and age of AI, I always go to Chat GPT to see what Chat GPT has. GPT. What? I don't care. It's AI. Stop chastising me. Leave me alone.
But it's that computer that talks to me and gives me words, gives me pretty words.
Ask it a question, it'll give you an answer. But they're saying Army 24-20. I think it's going to be a little different than that. I think it's going to be 28-24. Steve, how many days?
Sir, there are 44 and about days until Army beats the hell out of Navy at M&T Stadium in Baltimore, Maryland.
Woo. And folks, as we get out of here, as I always say, no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing as a soldier, sailor, airman, Marine, Space Force person, Coast Guardsman, and there's somebody, Space Cadet. They're standing and watch so you can enjoy the life you live, and let's hope they start getting paid pretty soon.
I think they're spacers.
Spacers.
Let's go with spacers for now.
Crawdad out. Back next week.
Beat Air Force.
Beat Air Force.
Beat Air Force.
If 0 down and a new Ford sounds good, you need to swing by Jordan and Sparkman before October 31st.